Hello, everyone. We are back again. It's Steve and Amy with the DiWulf Publishing House podcast. And
Yay!
yay, let's get a little, before we get to our exciting guest, our very good friend, just a couple of things that me and Amy want to mention. And then Danny, you can chime in at any time. But, I think it was this week that we've lost some serious heavy hitters from our little musical world. Of course, we lost Steve Albini of Big Black fame and so many other projects I mentioned on Facebook. Probably my favorite thing he ever did production wise is the PJ Harvey Rid of Me album. It's my favorite by her because it was so raw and it just felt like it was just her guitar and like a drummer. Like that's how raw it is. And Amy, I know you have a really quick and cool story about Albini too, right?
Yeah, so and anybody who read No Slam Dancing, it's in there. But I had two interviews within 1 week. They may have even been like back to back. And it was Marty Wilson Piper from the church
Oh, nice.
and Steve Albini. And I'm like, well, this Marty Wilson Piper thing, that'll be fine. But I hear Steve Albini's kind of a jerk, so I'm not sure about that one. Go to interview Marty Wilson Piper, pompous ass, like monosyllabic answers, just very condescending and very I knew a lot about the church, so it wasn't like I was going in asking standard questions, just a jerk. And I'm like, well, now I'm going to meet Steve Albini. This is going to be great. Steve Albini was wonderful. He was so nice, so professional, gracious with his time, was not condescending at all. I mean, I really walked away from that interview with him feeling really, really good because he was just a very respectful, nice person. And most musicians are, but he was even extra in that case. So yeah, I mean, I only met him that once, interviewed him that once when he was in Rape Man 30 some years ago. But still, when I heard of his passing, I was absolutely gutted, and I still kind of am. So
Yeah, it's a hugely talented dude who did so much. Like it's
yeah.
you could we could do a 4 hour podcast just on the bands he's been in, let alone everything else he did. We
Yeah.
also lost Gary Floyd from Dix. That's a hugely influential band to me. When I first heard them, I think I was like 14 or 15. And then you find out, like, just everything behind them. Just to me, that band and Gary, the word that always comes to mind to me is fearless. Like, did not give a fuck. And that's a band that went into towns and scared people, like scared the shit out of the normies. It was one, and just so much. Like, that one hurt for me. That one hit really hard. So, and we lost Dennis Thompson from the MC5, the last standing member.
Yeah, him and Wayne Kramer, we lost them this year. Uh, to me, the biggest outrage there is they're not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
They're not.
They are not. If that is
We need,
not bullshit epitomized, I don't know what is. But yes, they are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And now they're all dead.
you need to call up our good friend Mark Harris at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame
Greg
and
Harris.
Greg Harris. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Martha Ray's husband. Have him rectify that, please. So
Yeah.
now let us get on to, before we get to Danny real quick. Anybody that's watching this, please make sure you follow us on social media. We need help getting word out about our books. If you like what we do, I try and keep our social media content fresh, where it's not just us plugging our dumb shit. I try and find pretty cool content to share and all that. So we're at DiWulf Publishing House on Instagram and DiWulf Publishing House on Facebook. I won't do Twitter. If Amy wants to do a Twitter for DiWulf, that's all on her, but I refuse to go on it. I was off of Twitter. I gave up on Twitter before that idiot Musk came along. So we don't do Twitter. So, and we're too old for TikTok, I believe. They're going to shut that down anyway. So what the fuck? So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce our really good friend, someone I love very, very much, who is a super talented dude. This guy does so friggin' much with the books, with the appearances. He's a movie buff and an aficionado on all kinds of films. It's our friend Danny Marianino.
Thank you. With that introduction, I thought you were going to bring somebody cooler out than me here.
Sorry, dude,
I'm
that's
like,
all you.
who's coming? Who else is coming into this here?
Welcome to the DiWulf podcast.
Thank you. Good morning to you guys. Yeah, there's a lot of people not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's one of the things in the new It Blows My Mind book. I think is we always argue over who's in it, who's not in it, and then it doesn't make a difference because nobody we give a fuck is going to get in anyway. like Weird Al. Come on, Weird Al. I mean, he's like the greatest.
Agreed.
You know?
It's funny to me because it seems like if you come from our world, like none of that shit matters. We never cared about stuff like that. So it's actually fun to me to debate bands I care nothing about and who should and should be in it. Because when you think about it, it's ridiculous that everybody should be in it, really. But
Yeah,
it's fun
yeah.
to debate.
If there's a lot of people a lot of people that like Iron Maiden and
Yeah.
other bands. I mean, come on.
I mean, it's got to be run by squares. What do they know from Iron Maiden?
And listen, I love watching it. I do like to see the reunions of bands, and I do like to see the bands that tell everybody to go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
Like Rage Against the Machines last year. Tom Morello came out, and he's the only guy that accepted the award. Nobody else from Rage Against the Machines showed up, and he's like, "Listen, we weren't for this, but I'm here because there are fans that loved us, and out of respect for the fans, I wanted to come here and say thank you." But outside of that, we don't fucking care about these kind of awards and shit like this.
I,
And
I
he's the only guy that showed up. I was like, wow, but you see some like I don't remember if it was Carly Simon, one of those singers was there like a year or two ago, and she was so old. Maybe it wasn't Carly Simon, but somebody along the lines of Carly Simon. She really couldn't perform. She sang one song, and then different people came up and sang her songs. I love watching that. I mean, and then fucking Rob Halford singing with Dolly Parton. I mean, it doesn't get more hokey but cooler than that. It's got its good elements.
think Johnny Rotten had the best when they invited the Sex Pistols, and he wrote that letter to them that's all over the internet now, and how
Yeah,
they charge if they wanted to bring family, they charged them like 30 grand or something ridiculous, and he's because he's John Lydon, he can do that.
yeah, yeah. That's
So let's
funny.
talk about what you got going on, buddy. I hear you got a big day coming up soon.
Yeah. I got a new It Blows My Mind book 2, The Gospel According to Carmine.
Our friend Carmine is back.
Carmine is back. I got a little copy here for you. But,
Nice.
uh, same size, kind of the same sort of shit, but we, me and my co-creator Mick Lambro,
Yeah,
he
let's give a little shout out to
give a
Mick.
shout out to Mick. He's the
What a
man.
fucking art. There's a talented fucking dude.
He's so talented. He doesn't even realize how talented he is.
It's ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
everything I see that he posts, like that, you need to make that a shirt. I will wear that. I don't care what it is. Even if I don't like the band, I would wear the shirt.
I keep pushing him to do this extra shit. I got all these. I have ideas for him. Like, like a lot of comic books, they sell sketch covers. You know what a sketch cover is? It's
No.
basically it's basically the comic book that you would normally get, but they put this cardboard thing over it that has the logo of the comic book, but you can draw on. And a lot of kids go to Comic Cons, they buy these sketch covers, they find artists that they like, and they have those artists, they pay them to do a
Oh,
custom
wow.
drawing of whatever. Like if you're at a Comic Con, you buy a GI Joe sketch cover, and Larry Hama's there. You can pay Larry Hama maybe $100 or whatever he does to draw a custom GI Joe cover on it, hand drawn by the artist. It's super cool.
Wow.
So I keep telling Mick, I'm like, got to get some sketch covers. Draw a character with a character. I love the
Sure.
idea. So he can't find sketch covers really around Australia too much. I just grabbed him a Batman one from Frank Miller's re-release of one of the old Frank Miller ones, and I'm like, all right, I got you a sketch cover. I want when you get out here, you got to draw Agnostic Front's Eliminator fighting Batman on it. I'm like that.
Oh wow.
I'm like, I would buy that in a second. You start drawing like, the Incredible Hulk fighting, the Gorilla from Gorilla Biscuits. Mesh comics and music together. Two things you love. People will fucking go crazy with that. So now I'm on the sketch cover search for him.
Nice.
I'm giving him work to do.
Like he doesn't have enough.
Yeah, like he doesn't have enough. He needs me to like break his balls and be like, "Hey, I got another idea for you."
Get
But
get to work.
but I really like working with Mick. One of the fun things about doing the Blows My Mind book with him is, we he's in Australia, so we talk a lot on WhatsApp almost every day. And anytime I'm coming up with something I think is really funny, I'll message him and we'll laugh back and forth. I mean, he'll draw up ideas and send me the pictures on WhatsApp. I'm thinking about this or that, and we kind of go from there with it. I mean, we literally do a book, our second book, long distance, which is kind of an interesting way to do it, but we do it really well together. I mean, we work great together. And in this new book, it doesn't just have the typical like things that you complain about, spam phone calls. Shingles doesn't care. That's a good one. Uh, Shingles doesn't care is a good one. I'll read that to you. Because it's true, Shingles doesn't care. They fucking beat that into your head so bad. Shingles doesn't care. Is there a commercial on television that strikes more fear into your very soul than the shingles vaccine commercial? Don't do a fucking thing in life unless you have the shot, because Shingles doesn't care.
Oh my God.
But we also did these like kind of cool, like a lot of these 3-panel comic strips in this book too, to
That's
kind of
great.
to break it up a little bit. So it's got a lot of like the same like I'm still mad that they haven't found anything on Oak Island, and it's got the one thing in the picture, and then it's got other pages that are just packed with stuff. But we did these little comic strips that are really snarky and kind of fucked up, like this one here. It's got the character Troy and Carmine, and I'll read it to you because it's going to be hard to read, but it basically says, "Hey, Troy, you got something in your teeth." Troy says, "You could have said that with a little more sophistication." And the next picture, it's got Carmine going, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, you're a Neanderthal." And then the next one is Carmine punching him out. "Hey, Troy, you got nothing in your teeth." And Troy's teeth are like flying out of his mouth. So we kind of made these like Bazooka Joe comics, but
Nice.
a little bit more adult. And there's about 20 of them in here. I mean, maybe 10 of them. I don't know. I don't know. I
And
wrote a lot of them.
that's all Mick doing the comics and the
Mick
drawing.
does all the drawings. Yep, he did the drawings in the whole book, and then just me coming up with stupid ideas. You know.
Awesome. Awesome.
But yeah, we really came together on it. Yeah, he did a good job.
Yeah, it's we could talk for hours on the importance of working with good people. I mean, it's kind of like the foundation of me and Amy. Me and Amy, met on. I was living in Charlotte, North Carolina. We met online and started talking like, and our books and a lot of the stuff we do, just like with you working with Mick in Australia, we could have never gotten our books done or contacted all the people we wanted to interview for the oral histories that we did without social media, without technology, without all this stuff that the rest of the world is so scared of is going to ruin the children and blah 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 blah. It's just like everything else in life, it has its positives and it has its negatives. And when you use stuff for its positive means, it's what it's meant for, stuff can turn out really great. Like we all know, we've met really cool people just through social media that we never would have met before. We've also met a lot of assholes. So
Oh yeah.
it's either or. But when you navigate it well, it's just like real life. Like I can't stress this enough. You can find good stuff in shitty things, and that's what I think. Like these types of partnerships and getting artistic collaborations of any kind done. I think I'm very happy for social media. It's not the platform; it's the people, and you
Right.
just got to
Yeah.
be.
Listen, if it
You know,
wasn't for social media, I wouldn't have even met Nick. I
yeah.
saw
Well,
his artwork with other people, and we started talking, and he did some Northside King stuff. And
we
you
wouldn't
know,
we wouldn't know you. I mean,
yeah,
you
yeah,
Yeah.
you and I have some connections here with Thorpe Records, like our buddy Andy and Big Dwayne. I want to
yep,
shout
yep,
out to Big Dwayne, great people.
yep,
But it's 2024. I had never spoken to you until Facebook came around.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, there's a lot of positives to it. I mean, there's a lot of
yeah,
dumb shit too, but yeah,
yeah,
it's me and Mick working together. It's like when you play in a band and you like the drummer Tony Scaglione. I mean, we when I was in Cause for Alarm with him and Northside King started, we were together, and we had another band called Eightfold together. When we played together, it was like a perfect mesh, like we just synced, and Jason Kowalski from Northside Kings, another drummer, we synced. There's other drummers I play with, it's a struggle. But some people you just work with really well. And once you find that good mesh, you wanna keep rolling with it because it's hard to find that again.
yeah.
So
So you got Carmine Book 2 coming out. What's the date on that? May 21st?
May 21st, yeah. You can pre-order now the digital Kindle version. It,
Right on.
it's weird that they do a pre-order on the digital, but not on the physical with it. But whatever. I honestly rather people buy the Kindle version's cool for people that like that, but it's not the same as the book. There's
Yeah.
so much more detail in the book. I like to hold the book, smell the book,
Yep.
rub it on me. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? Like I like the tangible thing.
Yes.
Listen, everybody likes something different.
There's nothing like the tactile feeling of having a book that you created in your hands, and like you said, smelling the ink. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 I long for the smell of old mimeograph sheets. Remember those?
Oh my God.
I buy all these old comic books in the dollar bins all the time. I
Mm.
mean, you could just smell the old Casper the Friendly Ghost, or DuckTales comics. You could smell that old ink. I love that.
The mimeograph thing makes me think of the scene. What was it? Fast Times at Ridgemont High, where they pass out the test papers and everybody coordinated. Just ah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that was great in grade school.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
Danny, what else have you got going on? Because I know you do a million different things at a time. So there's got to be other stuff you're working on.
I'm staying busy. I mean, so I just came back from New York. I did a little kind of signing hangout at Generation Records.
One of our
Um,
favorite places. Give a little love for
yeah,
Generation.
yeah, cool store. Mark's a good guy. I really like the store. I'm gonna have to eat after. We had a good time. Um, but I got some stuff coming up. I'll be at the Phoenix Comic Con. I'll be at the Tucson Comic Con. Phoenix, I'm just helping out my buddy Jay on his table a little bit. Tucson, I'll be there the whole time. And then me and Mick are working on an event for August 1st or 2nd. I think the first, August 1st, where I don't know if I can really announce it yet because it hasn't all been taken care of. But Mick's coming out from Australia, and we're gonna do kind of a book signing party. And there's a bunch of bands playing.
Okay.
It's going to be a show,
Okay.
basically, and our book signing is going to be us at a merch booth, basically.
Wait,
Well, when
Uh,
you when
and
you
what
we'll
city is
revisit
this
this.
taking place in?
it's going to be in Tempe, Phoenix area. This place called Yucca Tap Room. It'll be a free show, so there's no free admission. Overstand is going to play. Overstand is put the sticker right there, but it's my buddy Todd, who was in Northside Kings. He also played bass for Warzone forever. When he was a kid, they called him Todd the Kid back then. Now he's 48, so he's not quite, not quite the kid anymore. Uh, Overstand, they're awesome. A great hardcore band. And I don't remember who else is playing on the list yet, but I think it's going to be 4 bands. So that's going to be a free thing in August. I'm really kind of not doing any events for It Blows My Mind. I want to wait till Mick gets here at least here in Phoenix. So I'm waiting for him. So that'll be coming up, and then also in August, we're doing a Kickstarter. We wrote a children's book, and it is ridiculous.
For
It is
adult
quite
children or
ridiculous.
children or both?
It's actually like a kid's book. Like I mean, adults will enjoy it too, because so
Hit
I
him with the
always love.
title, Danny. Hit him with the
Yeah,
title.
let me hit you with the title there. It's called Night of the Gabagool. And
I'm giving that a round of applause. I'm sorry.
it's basically a story of all characters from the Blows My Mind universe, but the character in the Blows My Mind, Troy, uh, he doesn't give out Halloween candy to kids, and as a punishment, he gets a visit from the Great Gabagool, who punishes him by not by taking away his ability to eat Italian food anymore. That's his punishment. So I kind of a couple of things kind of spawned this. I don't know about you guys and by you, but by me in Arizona, Halloween's almost dead.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I mean, kids.
What?
We got maybe 8 to 10 trick or treaters last year, and that was a lot. I mean, you look at my street, every house is the lights are off. I mean,
Wow.
kids, there's maybe 2 houses lit up, and you got to walk, a million miles to go get candy today because so many people are shutting their lights off.
Hmm. I know the past couple of years around where I am in suburbs right outside of Philly, I have he's 11 now, 11-year-old nephew. But ever since he was little, we would go to their neighborhood, and they live in a nice little suburban neighborhood, and there would be hundreds of people
Yes.
walking around. And then by conversely, me and my wife, we live in an apartment building that's gated. You have to have a code to get in. So we have
Sure.
never gotten trick or treaters ever because we've always lived in an apartment. So I think I mean, I don't know. It seems like it's as normal as it has been out here.
We're not out here, and I'm in the house.
That's a shame.
If you drive, it's funny. Shitheads across the street from me who I don't get along with so well.
Yeah,
They Halloween, every light is off.
that's terrible.
And then the next day, this was last year. I even did a video, and it blows my mind video for him. Like, it blows my mind, these fucking guys. The next day, the whole fucking house is lit up. They're working on their cars again, and they got the generator outside,
Of course.
making all the fucking noise, and they're cutting people's hair in the driveway and shit. There's like a party going on all night long again. But that's my whole neighborhood. Kids go, a lot of kids go to the mall here, which is weird to me. They trick or treat at the mall because the stores all have candy, and they want to bring people to the mall. So that's like the big thing. So I kind of like was thinking about like, man, what can I do? I would love to write a book about how Halloween sucks for me, for kids today. It even sucks for me. I want to see the costumes. I want to get out
Well,
the
I think
candy.
I think
I
you
love
need to
it,
come. You need to come east, Danny, because
Yeah.
my neighborhood has tons of kids. You go to
Yeah.
like certain cities like Bordentown, New Jersey, Lambertville, New Jersey, thousands of kids. I have
That's
friends who live there who
amazing.
literally have to buy $500 worth of candy, and they still run out.
Especially in high school, when high school came around, I had like a legit Michael Keaton Batman mask. Like, it was
Wow.
like a good rubber, really solid, nice rubber one. And I had a Batman t-shirt, and like I just put black jeans on, Batman t-shirt, and walked around with that mask on. And I hit like a ton of houses. And then I would go home and then I would turn into Jason Voorhees. And I'd go back out and hit the neighborhood all over again. And I would get the same houses, but Jason Voorhees had just stood there, so like I didn't say trick or treat, so they didn't recognize the voice. And I doubled up on the candy every
You
year.
double dipped.
Double dipped the whole fucking neighborhood. I hustled them all. But yeah,
For me, I'm
we
thinking
don't really
back.
get much.
See, yeah, for me, once I hit teenage years, Halloween always meant to me great fucking shows. You went and saw either Sam Hain Danzig, I was too young when the Misfits played on Halloween, but I caught all the whether it was in Jersey. There was one out here when Danzig first started Danzig. He played this disco dance club. It was crazy. It was a great show. It was Guar. There was always some kind of punk rock show going on Halloween nights, and so I missed out on all the candy. I didn't give a shit about getting candy. I was going to fucking shows.
Yeah, you were in the pulse of things. I was in the fucking woods of Flemington, New Jersey. The only thing that we look forward to was the night before, mischief night, when I would
Wow.
fuck the neighborhood up. I mean, fuck the neighborhood up. And my mother would, oh, here's some toilet paper. I'm like, oh, okay,
She was an
cool.
accomplice.
Yeah, she was totally an accomplice. She gave us like 3 rolls of toilet paper.
A chargeable offense. She was an
Yeah.
accomplice.
But meanwhile, she had no idea that my backpack was filled with like dog shit and spray paint and fucking dead rat that I found in the street that I was going to stuff in somebody's mailbox, shaving cream and all kinds of
Nice.
other fucking garbage that I would be
Wow.
carrying around with me all night long and hitting the same houses. There was this kid I did not get along with. I don't want to mention his name here, but I would go shit in his pool all summer. I would. I would I'd go to his house and I'd sit on his diving board and hang my ass off the diving board in the middle of the night and shit into his pool. I did it
Oh my God.
I did it so many times. And I would go to his house every Halloween, forget it. I mean,
you're a disturbed individual.
Yeah, we're a menace to society.
Yeah, no. There was these girls on my street that were younger than me. They were fucking so mean. My mother said that the father was always a Nazi. She said, oh, he's a Nazi. They were fucking nasty to my sister. And they had this clubhouse in the woods, and I would go to their clubhouse. I don't know if you guys had this by you, but a couple summers we had these Japanese beetle bugs, and it was like an invasion of them. And you had to buy these, like, my father bought these metal poles you put in the ground, and you had this like bag, and they could fly in, but they couldn't fly out.
Right.
And we catch like fucking 200 of them at a time in the bags, and I would tie them off, and I would go to their clubhouse, and I would fucking rip the bags open and just fill their clubhouse with Japanese beetle bugs and dog shit. We had big dogs, so I would take all the shit, put it in a garbage bag, and tore it up on their clubhouse. And I drew a swastika with a line through it, like those no Nazis. And the father used to come looking for me. One day he came down the street. He was like, "Well, let me see the bottom of your sneakers." And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, I got a footprint. I know it's you." And I ran away, and then he came to the house. My mom constantly told people to fuck off, And cops would come looking for me. We saw your son on his dirt bike driving down the street. Nope, he's been home all day. Goodbye.
See, that's a mom. That's an Italian mom.
Oh yeah, I was a menace to the neighborhood for sure. But we didn't really have. I lived too far away for the shows and stuff. It wasn't shit going on in Flemington. Fucking 4-H club. That's what we had. Want to go see a cow get born? Go. That's what we had to do.
You poor bastard.
Yeah.
This was a beautiful area to grow up. I will say that, but
not a lot of excitement.
No. We would go to our club of choice to go to in Jersey. The City Gardens I'd go to once in a blue moon. My parents were like not into us going to Trenton at all. But we would go to Obsessions in New Jersey. I was out in Randolph, which was out in the middle of nowhere.
Way up north.
Yeah, it was only about 45 minutes from where we lived.
Okay.
It wasn't too bad. We passed Larson's Turkey Farm. I always thought that was like the coolest. You know what Larson's Turkey Farm is?
No, not at all. It just sounds funny as shit.
I always thought it was the coolest thing. We never went there, but you go to Larson's Turkey Farm, they had live turkeys, and you're like, yeah, I want to eat that motherfucker. And they're like, all right. And then they whack the turkey, and you go back there for dinner, and you have that turkey for dinner.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I thought
it's like picking out your lobster.
Yes, picking out your turkey. I thought it was such a fucking cool thing. I never went there.
I've never in my life heard of that. Never.
Oh, you're gonna have to look that up. That was a Jersey treasure. New Jersey had so much crazy shit back there. with our own stuff. Like when I tell people about, like I don't know if you're familiar with the New Jersey Sloppy Joe, which is basically like a roast beef, ham, and turkey sandwich that has coleslaw on it and Russian dressing
Jesus.
on kind of a rye bread where they cut the crust off of it. Real popular, like the Millburn Diner. If you go on like Goldbelly, and you look at the Millburn Diner, and you'll see Sloppy Joe, and that's the
Wow.
Sloppy Joe I knew. We called the
Well,
other thing Manwich, you know,
here's the question though: pork roll or Taylor ham?
the other ham.
Really?
Taylor ham all day.
See, what I tell all my Jersey people, growing up in Philly, it's just pork roll to us.
Yeah,
We grew up eating it, but I had never heard it called Taylor ham until Facebook. Never knew that was a whole thing.
that's what we called it, Taylor ham. And matter of fact,
Crazy to me.
my father-in-law's here from New Jersey and brought out 2 logs. They're in the fridge. I'm having it
Oh
for
wow,
breakfast. That's my breakfast today, some Taylor ham and eggs.
nice.
But I went to school with the kid who was like related to the family. I think he was. He said he was when we were kids. His kid Jason Taylor.
Hmm.
His grandfather or great grandfather started the company, sold it or whatever. But so I went to school with a descendant of Taylor ham, so we all knew it as Taylor ham. You know,
Okay. Well,
I,
from a true that
some people call everything Jello. That's gel. It's gelatin.
yeah.
I know it's pork roll, but I'm just used to that brand name.
Well,
Yeah,
what do you put on spaghetti? Do you put sauce or you put
sauce.
gravy on it? You put gravy on it.
I put gravy. That's a big fight with New Yorkers
Oh,
and
absolutely.
New Jersey. You know,
Yeah.
and you see, I follow a lot of these Italian podcasts. And they're like, "It's sauce. It's not." I'm like, "What do you give a fuck? I call it gravy. Go fucking call it Mickey Mouse. I don't give a fuck what you call it. Get what you want,
Yeah,
asshole."
that's another thing. I was probably almost a teenager before I ever heard it called sauce, and I was like, "What do you mean?" Because to me, I think of like on a pizza. That's sauce to me. When you got some, Sunday gravy, it's got all the meat, it's got the meatballs and the pork and the veal and all that. That's gravy because there's meat in it. It's thick. And they
Yeah,
say, "Well, no, gravy is brown." No, fuck you. There's two kind. There could be more than one kind of gravy. There's red gravy for spaghettis, and there's brown gravy for everything else.
biscuits and gravy is white. It's not just brown.
Exactly.
You
There's
know,
a rainbow coalition of gravies.
the other thing that's kind of popular New Jersey thing that you don't see too many other places is Saucy Susan.
I have
Uh,
no idea what that is.
No,
No.
it's another Jersey thing. It's a peach apricot sauce, almost like a duck sauce. And we used to put it on chicken, on ribs, uh, and all this shit I used to have to bring out to Arizona. So like we would go on tour and I would fill the back of the van up with cases of like Cento tomatoes or any one of the different brands and stuff that I wanted to get. I had a buddy, this black guy out here that just like I'm getting Italian food, he had me get him Wise potato chips because
Wow.
there's no Wise potato chips out here, you know. I would come back with cases of stuff of all kinds of crazy shit that you couldn't get in Arizona when I first moved here. Times have changed, but a lot of it you still can't get Wise potato chips.
So why did you move to Arizona, Danny?
My father, we came out here when I was a kid on vacation, and maybe sixth or seventh grade. My father loved it. I mean,
Oh wow.
he always loved like John Wayne movies and shit like that, and like he bought all this crazy shit from Arizona and flew it back to New Jersey, like Native American rugs and fucking steer skulls and shit. And like he redecorated our whole house in New Jersey. I had a cactus in my bedroom, you know. And he just always wanted to come out here. My parents got divorced before my senior year of high school, and he was like, "Listen, after high school, I'm going out west." And I came with him. My best friend, who I ended up eventually marrying his sister down the road, he came out to go to ASU. So I had a buddy out here too same age. We both moved out here like a month from each other, so it wasn't like I just came out. My dad didn't know anybody. I had a friend out here too, and me
Nice.
and him started a band out here, and shit went from there.
Just all worked
Uh,
out.
yeah, so I really, I mean, I lived in New Jersey till I was 18, and then about a month and a half, 2 months after high school, came out here. It's funny. I got a lot of friends from uh, uh, New Jersey that are out here. People that moved out here, kids I went to school with, fucking kid that lived next door to me. Uh, I wasn't friends with that family. They were like the sports family. They played football. They played, lacrosse and baseball in the backyard all the time. My dad had a styrofoam deer. We would shoot the bow hunt. So we were like the hunting family, and they were like so kids didn't get along. But I'm at the Best Buy one day. I'm walking through the store, and I pass this kid. I go, boys, you look familiar. And I'd loop around again, and it's the kid that Luke that lived next door to me for 10 years. He was going to college out here, and he was working at Best Buy. I mean, and I run into a lot of people from school that just randomly are out here. One of my
Hmm.
friends, Jeff, he came out on a vacation, loved it, packed his bags, and moved out here.
Hmm.
You know,
Well, that's where you started Northside Kings out there, right?
correct, yeah.
Yeah.
So I had another band. My
Arizona's
brother,
always had a pretty good music scene.
really. Oh, listen, you got popular bands like is it the Goo Goo Dolls or one of those bands that are from here. Then you got metal bands like Megadeth was here for a long time.
Yeah.
Alice Cooper's here. You have Sepultura, which became Soulfly, and Soulfly was started here. Um, I would see just random people from different. Sacred Reich was
Oh yeah,
that
yeah. That's one of
yeah,
my favorite bands.
they're all in my neighborhood. The
Wow.
bridge. There's this famous picture in one of their albums. I think Surf Nicaragua, where they're like standing behind this like spray painted
Oh
guy with a
yeah.
gas
Yep.
mask. That's
Yes.
at the skate park down the street from me. It's long been painted over, but they took that picture like a block away. They all grew up in this neighborhood. Matter of fact, Wiley,
Nice.
the guitar player, owns a great burger place called Rehab Burger. That's unbelievable. It's the best burger in town. And
Nice.
I see Phil a lot. I'm friendly with him,
I
and
I
Greg
saw
Hall
them
played
I
drums
saw
for us
them
for a bit.
in a little tiny club in Delaware in I'm gonna say it was 1989, 88 or 89. And I think they played with Violence. And it's in my memory, it's what I can remember of it. Still one of the best shows I ever went to. We
Wow.
had, we had such a great time, and they were a really good band. And especially if you remember at that time, they were crazy young. They were teenagers when that first album came out. And it's a really good metal album.
I just saw them with Violence like 2 years ago.
Nice.
They're still
Nice.
playing with Violence. Yeah, Greg, who played two. So this is how life is weird. So in the first band I tried out for as a kid in middle school, I tried out as a singer, and I had to sing Fade to Black by Metallica, which you can imagine I was not good at. And
Wow.
then with my Jersey accent. And then they had me learn Sacred Reich the American way. And that got me in the band.
Nice.
Years later, I got this band, my brother-in-law, 187, that we had, and we decided to add another guitar player. And I just went from guitar and singing to singing. And we had Jason Rainey from Sacred Reich played guitar for us.
Nice.
And then with Northside Kings, we had Greg Hall, the drummer from Sacred Reich, played with us for a while. So the first band I ever tried out for singing in, I had to learn a Sacred Reich song for in eighth grade. I go on to play with two of the guys from that band at some point or another.
Isn't that
I'm like,
crazy?
yeah, yeah.
Well, kind of like if we double back to the social media conversation that we were having. For me, doing this whole like when Amy and I were working on our book, and even just now, just the people that we deal with, to think like, oh, I had a chance to interview Roger Moret from Agnostic Front, my favorite group growing up as a kid. Like now that to me is the coolest part of being able to do all this shit. It almost makes the not ever making a dime off of it and utterly living in abject poverty, worth it.
That's another guy.
Almost.
That's another neighbor of mine.
Oh
Roger
yeah,
lives.
he's out there
He's like
too.
5 minutes from the house. Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
Everybody's going to Arizona, dude. What's
It's like
I
witness
guess we gotta
protection. It's
go.
like witness protection area there. Yeah,
Shit.
me and Roger are on the quest for finding the best chicken farm in town, and I think we
Okay.
found it. And there's a place. He likes Uncle Sal's a lot for their chicken farm. And next door to Uncle Sal's is a place called the Flying Pig, which is weird that they put another Italian restaurant by it. Uh, I like the Flying Pig place better, but they're like so close in great chicken farms.
Hey man, just be happy you could get it out there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, when I moved here, it was like the end of Goodfellas. He says, like, I order macaroni, I get egg noodles and ketchup.
Ketchup and
That's
egg noodles.
that's kind of what happened when I first moved here. It was definitely a culture shock. Now, mind you, the Mexican food is insane.
Oh, I'm
Like,
sure it's off the charts.
yeah, New Jersey has no fucking idea what Mexican food is. Even
Mm.
if they've opened Mexican places up out there, they still don't get it. There's a show on Netflix called The Taco Show, and they did an episode where they went to Phoenix and they went to this place called Tacos Chihuas, which is insanely good. And Taco Boys is another place that's fucking unbelievable. I mean, you go there, you get these little street tacos. You could get you can get one with the pineapple. I forgot what they call that, but the pork, and they got the carne asada one. You can get the cabeza, the cheek meat with the lime and the cilantro. I mean, you can get 5 different tacos. It's like a fucking flavorful explosion in your mouth of every different taco. You know?
I found your new project. You need to do a whole food tour, whether it's a book or a TV show
Yeah.
or a Netflix. Do a Jersey kind of find the best shit, the punk rock, but it'll be the punk rock version of it.
I got an idea for that, but I don't have the means to do it. But I have an idea for a show where you talk to people that have something interesting on their menu, but the story behind it, a little not quite, more local. Done like there's a guy in town. He's got a Greek place. That's it's awesome. He's crazy, the guy too. You go there, he doesn't stop talking to you the whole time. That's how I know the guy's story. But I wanted to do a show where a group of guys go to a place, they eat at the place, and they talk to the owner about different things that he makes. But interesting stories of why they make it. So the Greek
Right.
guy has a baklava cheesecake on the menu.
Whoa.
Okay,
I'm down for
well,
that.
it gets even better. Not only is it fucking insane, but he tells us the story how he came up with the baklava cheesecake. He didn't really come up with it. His mother owned a catering company in San Francisco, and she used to cook at the Fillmore, and she would do catering for the bands that played there.
Nice.
You're talking the '60s, '70s. So, you got, from the Who to this, every kind of big band from that era. She would make some Greek shit in with the regular stuff. So one night she made food for the Grateful Dead, and she made cheesecake and she made baklava, and she was still bringing the food up to the backstage. It's an upstairs thing at that place, the Fillmore. She by the time she gets the dessert up, before she even got the food up there, Jerry Garcia had taken the cheesecake, put the baklava on top of it, stoner style, and was eating it like that. And he was like, I can't believe that this is the greatest thing I've ever eaten in my life, and I've never tried it like this before. And from that point on, she started making the baklava cheesecake, which he still makes today. I mean, he's like 65 or something, 7 years old. He still makes it today in his restaurant, and it's dynamite. And to get stories from business owners that have these interesting stories, I would love to do something like that.
That
Listen,
that would make a great book and a great show.
Yeah.
yeah, put me out there. I'd be like Tom DeLuise, making food, talking to people, eating and stuff, sharing recipes, and really sitting around with 4 or 5 guys and breaking bread together. You bring different people.
Absolutely.
You don't use the same guys each week. You bring this guy from,
Abs-
this guy, that
absolutely.
guy, and you make the dialogue is, in between it fun. I would love to do that. Anybody out there wants to do a food show, I'm your guy.
He is your guy. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm staying
Yeah,
busy, man.
that's one of the things that's always impressed me most about you, Danny, is you are always doing cool shit, and it's not just your regular shit. It's you've always got something going on. I admire that. I respect it because I am lazy as fuck, and I could never do half the shit that you're doing.
Listen, you got to stay out there and do it.
God
I
bless
mean,
you. You do.
when I came to you guys about doing the Don't Ever Punch a Rock Star book, which for people that are just tuning in, they re-released this beautiful book here and made it 10,000 times better. And oh, look at you over there!
There we go.
Whoa, yeah.
I got a hardcover in hand over here.
I never got a hardcover.
I know a place where you can get one.
Yeah, I need one for the archives. I always had.
I'll get you one, Steve. I'll
Yeah,
send
please
you
do. That's one that's definitely missing from the archives here.
Okay.
But when I was before I came to you guys, I was used to kind of doing it DIY. It's like playing in a band. You can't just you can write great songs, but if you don't get out there and hustle it, people aren't going to know about it. And I've always, when I first did Don't Ever Punch a Rock Star myself, and I shittily edited myself and did it all myself, I learned that if I want to get people to know about it, I really got to get the hustle on. I got to get out there and move. And
That's exactly what like me and Amy based
exactly,
everything we do on. And it's
yeah,
just it's how we all came up. It's we got involved in this music scene. That's the takeaway from it. That's one of the many things that we've learned that we incorporate in our lives from we never really stopped. It's not just art stuff. It's not just making and publishing books, making music and releasing records. I think for me it colors everything I do and how I walk around in life. And it's
Yeah.
that again when you work with people of the same kind of mind frame, it's just great.
yeah. I really like working with you guys. I was,
Yeah. Oh, we had a blast.
yeah. I think you really made my book way better.
Thank you.
And it's good to be on a roster with, with Mike back there with that miles per gallon book and Dave with his AOD. I really like that Toxic Shock book.
Yeah,
Tell
and
me about,
that's something.
yeah, tell me, did you guys put this? Like, what did you? I don't get.
That
It doesn't.
guy. That's all.
No,
Yeah, Amy.
Toxic Shock
Amy's
available
got
at the
some cool
Wolf website.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, that kid. That was so random. I think the guy sent me a message on Instagram and just kind of like mentioned it. I'm like, oh my god, like let me buy like some copies. We'll sell it in our store. Like, and I hadn't even read the book. I didn't even know it existed. And so he was really nice. He was like, cool. He gave us a real nice price. We started out with 10 copies. I think Amy said they sold really quick. She finally got a chance to mail me one. I haven't even gotten past 30 pages yet because it's so new, and actually because I'm working on another book. But I was just like, this fell into our lap. We didn't have to do anything, and it's a really good book, at least from the first 30 pages.
Yeah, it's cool. Listen, you learn different stuff. I mean, this is something new for you guys too. You bought a book off a guy and you're doing a disc show. That me and Mick are going to try with the Night of the Gabagool, a Kickstarter. I'm familiar with Kickstarter because one of my best friends is a comic book artist, and he does Kickstarters all the time. That's what most of these independent comic book artists do today. It's easier for them to do it themselves, put it out themselves. They own their stuff. My buddy J Photos, that he's always the guy that does the layouts of the cover for me. Mick draws it, but Jay kind of puts it together because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. He drew Jay colored this, and his partner Mark drew it. Mark and Jay worked together on countless comic books. They designed stuff for movies, like they designed the Walrus and Tusk, the Kevin Smith movie. They also did for Kevin Smith in that Jay and Silent Bob, that Robo
Oh
character.
yeah.
They did there was a show on Netflix, The Haunting of Hill House, which was awesome ghost show. They designed the bent neck lady and all kinds of stuff. They do a lot of designs, concept designs that end up being done for makeup and stuff for movies as well. But uh, Jay does a lot of these Kickstarters, and like he's got a series called 68, which was the zombie apocalypse happening in 1968, the same year Night of the Living Dead came out. They kind of took the story from Night of the Living Dead and moved it from Pittsburgh to the Vietnam War. And it's really cool. There's a lot of like stuff that happened in that era. It goes back to Berkeley. They did the series for like 10 years. And but they did it through Image Comics and they own the rights to their stuff. You do a comic through like a Marvel or a DC, you're losing those characters. You don't own it anymore.
Right. It's
Yeah.
like signing to a major label if you're in a
Yeah.
band.
Yeah, so these artists, like he just my point of telling the Jay story is Jay just did another Kickstarter for a 68 omnibus, which is over 900 pages of the 68 book in one hardcover book collection. So I've seen him do a lot of these Kickstarters and how he does it. And I like how he does all these stretch goals where if it hits this amount of money, you get this. If it hits this amount of money, you get that. So me and Mick got a whole plan for Night of the Goblin.
Good.
We're going to do a hardcover book, which is about 35 pages, total children's book. And it's basically 'Twas the Night Before Christmas meets It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Oh,
With the
'Cause it's
gabagool.
with the gabagool. Like it's all, I got a little here I can read you, but it's, yeah, Troy always complained he made such a fuss, and his stories were lame like a public school lunch. A real Scoots-a-Mod who never was kind. He'd steal from his mother and even the blind. He'd call the cops if you played on his grass. Made too much noise or rode your bike fast. He was the biggest stool pigeon in town, and nobody trusted him coming around. So,
Nice.
it's got that kind of a feel. So we're going to do the hardcover book, and then we're going to do another option. People could buy a digital copy, or for a package price, you get the hardcover book, a digital copy, and the audio, which I'm doing one of those read along books. I'm gonna
Nice.
go record it. Like when you hear the sound of the crunch of a Shviadel, turn the
Right.
page. And I've got sound effects and another buddy that's gonna do the vocals, and people will be able to download that as well, and have the
Nice.
audio to be able to go through the book with a kid. Uh, and then I'm going to add all my other books as different add-ons. Don't have a bunch of Rockstar. It blows my mind. Book 1 and 2, so people could buy those as add-ons in a package with those.
And then
And
we'll definitely, we'll be carrying stuff too. They can always go through our website, whatever.
yeah, I'm going to do like fun stretch goals. Like if it hits a certain figure, in spend, and I hit the first stretch goal, everybody gets like an Italian garbage pail kid. I got garbage pail kids from Italy. Uh, in Italy they're called scorbins. And since the book is all, it's an Italian American holiday story. It's a perfect thing. Like this was a famous garbage pail kid image here. I never saw the
Nice.
Scorbins. On the back, it's all in Italian. It's pretty
Nice.
cool. So, and then the next stretch goal will be like a signed thing. Me and Mick have an idea about how to have him sign the copy, so I don't have to mail all the books to Australia, because that's going to be brutal. Because we're not going to obviously go into production of it unless we hit gold.
Yeah. We
So
did a Kickstarter. That's how we got this all started. We did a
Yeah.
Kickstarter for No Slam Dancing. They're pretty much the same thing. I think it's all in the incentives that you offer to people, what they can get out of it, and just connecting with people like so they know, hey, this is who we are. This is not a scam. Number one, and Amy will tell you this, when we were doing it, the research that we did, something like 90% of all Kickstarters, even if they get their funding, they like never come through on the perks that they promise. I don't know how many Kickstarters fail, so you really, really got to keep on it. And of course, we are here to help you. We've been through it.
appreciate
Give
it.
us all the information. It'll be all over our social media too. But yeah, Kickstarter is I've always been a fan of it because it's your people supporting you. It's it's the epitome of DIY. We should all be putting money into things that we love.
Yeah, I do a lot of Kickstarters for people's projects. I mean, I
Yeah.
just bought, there's a Barbarians book that's coming out. The guy did a book about a couple years ago as The World Ends or something, which is a post-apocalyptic movies book. And now he's doing a Barbarians book. I saw the post-apocalyptic book at a record store used once, but the cover was banged up, and I was like, I want this, but I don't want a banged up
Yeah.
one.
Mm.
And his Kickstarter for the new one, he's got the new book, and you could buy the old book in the package. So I bought that. You know, I think it closes. He hit goal plenty. His goal was like
Nice.
5,000. He did like 70,000 on it so far. But yeah,
Wow.
I want to do some cool stuff, and I'm going to do another add-on, which is going to be you could buy a book. Say you buy the book for yourself, you could buy a second book, which we're going to donate to the Phoenix Children's Hospital.
Oh, that's
Nice.
cool.
Yeah.
You know, and I may give it a little bit of a discounted price on the second book, and you know, hopefully I can donate. Phoenix Children's Hospital is a free hospital here, kind of like Danny Thomas's hospital. I forgot what it's called, but I
The
just know
Yeah.
Shriners. Yeah.
Shriners.
yeah,
Very cool.
yeah, we'll give out books to, you know, I'll bring a stack of books hopefully over there to give to kids, you know.
Hey man, in this day and
They're not
age,
gonna understand what Capucel is or Scoot Samad
they'll
or
learn.
Gavone. I got Gavone in here. I got for being a chooch, you can't eat Italian. A place to curse that prevents you from trying. No provolone, no wet mozzarella. And when Easter comes, no Capucel. No pizza, no pasta, not even stromboli, the ziti scungili, the fresh ravioli. It's
Wow.
fucking ridiculous.
Wow.
You know, these kids are gonna be like, "What the fuck is scungili?"
What is this guy talking about?
Yeah, they're gonna have no
Well,
idea. But yeah, listen,
hey man,
I'm educating them.
that's and then I was gonna say in this day and age when they're fucking banning and burning books, donating books is a very important thing right
Yes.
now. It's like firing back in the war. Like that's
Yeah.
they're taking books away from kids. Give them as much as you can. I'm all for it.
Yeah, listen, to me, I'm able to give back as well. You know, it's me still trying to get to my stretch goal by selling books so I can go to print these, but then I could take some of it there and do something kind of cool with it. Because
Absolutely.
those kids are all in that hospital. They, the joy that they get is a toy or something. And if I could use this opportunity to, you know, create this book, get it into people's hands, and then maybe give a lot to some kids. That's the goal.
But
Right.
Danny, I think you need to go to the hospital and read the book to the kids in
Oh
person
no, I plan on
and make a
once this
video
book
of it.
comes out. Yeah,
Absolutely.
when this comes out, I'm planning on going to libraries. I'm going to be showing up at school. Hey, it's me, Danny Marianino. I want to read a book to the kids. Don't worry about it.
Well,
Well,
So
that's great, man.
on that note, I think we can wrap things up, but this has been so entertaining and so fun. Thank you for joining
Yeah.
us, Danny. So,
Thank
Always,
you.
always love having you around, buddy. Always.
Thanks
so
for
it,
having me. I
It
appreciate it.
blows my mind comes out on May 21st. And Danny, what is the best way for people to get that?
Amazon is the best. I mean, you can buy it off of me too, but then I got to mail it at the post office, and I start work almost before the post office opens, and it's closed when I get off. So I got to do shit on Saturdays. Just go to fucking Amazon and buy it. I mean, if you want a signed copy, you'll be able to go to DannyMarianino.com or TotalGavone.com. It takes you the same place, and I could get you one, but. I'd rather you just go to Amazon. Save me the fucking headache. You know.
And you're on
Save Danny
you're
a
on
trip
all
to the post office.
you're on all the social medias where people can find. Where can they find you at?
So if you go, most of them it's at It Blows My Mind. I got a TikTok page, the Instagram, Threads, all at It Blows My Mind. YouTube at It Blows My Mind, and then Facebook. I just have my own page. I didn't do it on there,
Yeah.
but I started pages also for Night of the Gabagool. So if you want to follow that too, if you go to It Blows My Mind, you'll be able to find Night of the Gabagool. I have an Instagram page and a TikTok page
Awesome.
for that there to start.
And also DiWulf, I'm sure will have some copies in our store. So if people want to buy any of our lovely books here,
Yeah, there
some
you
of our
go.
books, buy some of our books. You can always add Danny stuff on. We've got copies of the 10th anniversary of Don't Ever Punch a Rock Star. It goes great. It fits in with our roster of books.
Yeah.
So if you would please buy some of our books, pick up Danny's book too.
I think this is one of the funniest autobiographies
Yeah,
that you can buy. And unlike that senator lady, there is no dogs getting shot in this book.
Yay,
I,
to
I,
no
I
dog. No animals were hurt
no
in the making
animals
of
were
this
hurt in the
book.
creation of this book. Matter of fact, my wife brings too many dogs home. So we're not whacking dogs, we're feeding dogs. So you can
God
guarantee
bless.
by buying this book that good goes to dogs.
No dead
Yay.
dogs, no murdered dogs, no Republicans.
No
It's
crazy
great.
shit. So
All right.
All
Well,
right.
I think we covered everything pretty much.
I think
good
Let me
rapping with you too.
let me give a shout out real quick. Do our plugs again. I think you can subscribe to this dopey little podcast we're doing. I'm not sure how all that works, but if you're watching it, you found it. We put the video on YouTube. I think the audio. There's a link on our page. We'll be able to find it.
yeah,
Again,
the
our
audio
social.
is on Spotify, it's on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, it's
If you don't want
anywhere
the visuals of our heads talking, you can just listen to it while you go about your business.
exactly, which is better because I look awful. I'm a victim of being on prednisone for a year, and I'm all bloated and disgusting. But
No.
follow us on the social media too. We always keep you updated on what we're doing. And like I said, I try to find content that's not just about us, any kind of articles about music or books or whatever. But we're at DiWulf Publishing House on Instagram, DiWulf on the Facebook. Same thing. We got stuff we're working on right now. I'm personally working on Mark Wasserman's book about the English beat or the beat.
That's cool.
We're going to be bringing out a 10th anniversary edition of a Butthole Surfers book that we're really excited about. And what else we doing, Amy?
Did you mention the Ramones book?
No, we got a Ramones book coming out.
Got a
Ooh.
Ramones book coming out early next year for the 50th anniversary of the first Ramones album. So a lot of interesting insights, fan memories, photos and stuff. So that'll be
I'm not even 48 yet.
God bless. God bless. Oh, and also for our overseas friends, if you don't know this, we've partnered up with some very cool people, Earth Island over in the UK, and they're starting to carry a lot of our titles. So you don't, to avoid those ridiculous shipping costs, you can just get it from them. It would be much cheaper. Earth Island Books, they've got their own great titles. We've also got a bunch of their stuff. Same reciprocation. If you want one of their books and don't want to pay the crazy shipping prices, we have their catalog. It's not like weird reprints. It's their actual books that they printed. So it's really cool. It's really cool working with them. They're great guys. They got a great roster of artists. So please check them out, Earth Island Books. I think
Hey,
that's everything, right?
what's that comic in the background to the left of you? On the wall. Is this a Cool Your Jets? What is that?
Oh, flat. That's Amy. The flat
Yeah,
duo
that's what I
jet.
said, Amy. Yeah. What do you got?
that is there's a graphic artist named Daniel Klaus or Daniel
Okay.
Close. He did 8 Ball, he did Ghost World. He actually has a new book out now called Monica. Those are original panels that I bought from him probably 30 years ago when he
Wow.
was doing 8 Ball. So yeah,
Dude, Amy
did-
and Howard have the coolest shit hanging in their house. The coolest
Yeah, I
shit.
love shit like that.
I know we're running out of time. I'll tell this story really quick. When my wife and I moved back up to look at that.
It's huge.
We
Yeah,
moved
it's
back.
big stuff, but yeah, and it was like comic book side, obviously. But yeah, this was just a page on one of his
That's really cool.
yeah.
When we first moved back to Philadelphia, we came and stayed with Amy and Howard. And we had never met in person. It was our first meeting. We got there in the afternoon. Amy wasn't even home. She was at work. But Howard was at home, let us in, was very, come on in. We brought our cats in, showed us the room. And it's the room Amy's in. And I look, and the first thing I notice on her wall is she's got a frame thing of like 3 incredible Misfits 7 inches, just the covers, untouched, there it is. And that's how I knew that we were all meant to be together.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And that was
Yeah,
given
yeah,
to her.
a friend gave me this, so like Glenn, of course, being Glenn back in the Misfits, he would get them printed on one sheet and then cut them out by hand and glue them together for the 7 inches.
Yep.
Wow,
Yeah.
so that's a sheet.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
one sheet with like these 3 different 7 inches on it, and then he would take them and cut them apart.
The only really cool art that I have, that's original art, that's awesome. Remember Tales from the Crypt?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So every episode of Tales from the Crypt Keeper would open his book. Tonight's tale is a tale of whatever. I have one of the drawings that were in Tales from the Crypt from his book from season
Wow.
4. It's the episode where Tia Carrere comes out of a guy's tattoo. And it was directed by the guy, William Friedkin, who did The Exorcist, and the band in it's called The Exorcists. But it's the
Nice.
original artwork before they colored it all in, you know.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
awesome.
All right, kids.
All right,
Well,
guys.
thank you.
All
Thank you
right.
for being with us. Thanks to everyone who listened and watched this. You know, we always appreciate it.
Definitely.
I appreciate you having me on here, guys. Thank you so much.
It was
Oh,
great
of course.
talking to you, Danny.
Thank you.
You guys.
Alrighty, bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Yay.
Her voice is soft as honey, eyes like broken